Hey everybody, not Willie Nelson here with another hot take. This one's on Joe Biden and his latest gaffe, and why I think Joe Biden might not be the nominee. So, Joe Biden's latest gaffe is he's in like an electronic town hall online, in a Zoom chat or whatever, and he said something like, "Oh, 85,000 Americans lost their jobs," when he meant to say 85,000 Americans lost their lives during the virus. And he said some other stuff that were just, stupid, and he kind of conflated numbers. It's just Biden not paying attention to what his own words are. Partly he doesn't need to because nobody wants to correct him. And even if they do, he'll just say, "Oh, yeah," if it's a person that's on his side, or go, "Well, yeah, I think you're confusing the issue," if it's somebody against him. But in this case, he was in friendly territory, so he had no reason to, worry. And Biden's been doing this a lot. He's been daring people not to vote for him. I think he just doesn't care. This is my new take on Biden. Maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he already knows that the DNC told him, "Listen, you can't be the nominee. We're going to come in and we're going to take it away from you at the last minute. We just need you to hold the place so Bernie doesn't get in there, because we know he's going to lose." Bernie would lose, by the way. They don't want Bernie because, number one, he would lose, and even if he won, he would attempt to institute policies that the DNC never stood for. What they want from Bernie are his fans and his enthusiasm. They'll never get it. Bernie's fans are communist. And they are young and unpredictable and totally unreliable. They won't come out to vote for anyone. They didn't even come out to vote for Bernie, really. They sort of half-assed it, and some of them did. But there's not enough of them, and they're total flakes. You have to be a flake to buy into communism. It's a total scam. And a lot of these people who buy into it are very emotionally driven. They're driven purely by the idea, no, we have to save everybody, and everybody's equal, and everybody deserves everything, and you are a bad person for thinking otherwise. That's socialism and communism in a nutshell. Today, here in America. So, they're not going to give it to Bernie. So, who's left? Well, you could give it to one of the other candidates, but that's not very fair. You would have to hold the vote, and then, it would be up for grabs. And the DNC doesn't really want that either. In fact, Biden made a bunch of deals, or the DNC did, so they would back Biden. They all back Biden, and they can't not back him. Like, how can they not back him now? He would have to pull out. He would be the one that would have to pull out. And then it would be kind of, the way it works is Biden would be the one. It's like when a primary candidate loses and they send all their backers to the person they endorse. It's really kind of up to Biden. But Biden may have been in on it from the get-go, and I hate to say it, but H.A. Goodman may be right. It may be Hillary Clinton 2.0. So, it makes sense from the standpoint that the Clintons bailed the DNC out of bankruptcy, and they basically run it. So they make up the rules, and they are fond of crafting these narratives, and this would be the narrative. Joe Biden is too frail. His health is failing. His mental capacities are going down, and he feels that he, for the good of the party, must step aside and hand off the baton to the only viable person who can beat Donald Trump in 2020, and that would be Hillary Clinton. Now, I don't think Hillary. Not only do I think Hillary would lose, I think she'd lose by a wide margin. There'd be no question that she would lose, because so many people would just go, "Oh, really? All this, and you pick Hillary again? Really?" I mean, it would be endless, and Trump would just laugh himself silly if he has to debate Hillary Clinton again. I can't imagine the debate on stage. Trump prowling around and Hillary, I'm ready for you this time. I knew you were going to try to prowl around the stage. Stay to your side of the stage this time, Mr. Trump, because this time I'm ready for you. Like, oh, it only took you 2 elections. I mean, that's the kind of attitude Trump's going to have. He's still likely to beat the pants off her. And the only other person that leaves in the queue is Cuomo. Now, a lot of people think, Cuomo's being pushed into it. I don't think Cuomo's that stupid. He knows that, first off, he's a younger guy. He can wait until 2024. He'll have time to, figure out how he's going to do everything. Like, if he jumps on this train now, he's got to fight Trump tooth and nail all the way to the election. He has to convince millions and millions of people that just because he got a little more famous than a normal governor because of the virus that he's the one to pick. I think he knows he needs to put this virus far in the rearview mirror because there's all kinds of stuff that's going to come out. And he can't stand there and blame Trump for it. Him and Trump work together. My God, how are you going to turn around and go, well, you're really the problem? Like, Trump will just turn around and say, well, I gave you the money and the respirators you needed. You didn't even need the ship. You couldn't even find the ventilators. I mean, nah, not this time. He doesn't want to go up against Trump. He knows he'll lose. He'll come back in 2024 maybe if he wants to do it, because in 2024 it'll just be Pence. Pence is a lot easier. It won't be Donald Trump. Pence is so boring, he might not even get the nomination in 2024. We'll have to wait and see. But Trump, he doesn't want to go up against Trump. It's too much, and he can wait. He can wait 4 years and then start a campaign and build it up from there. But for 2020, it's all going to come down to the polls. Who can poll better against Trump? Now, Biden's polling allegedly pretty decently. But as Tim Pool talks about, and some of the other YouTubers talk about, there is an invisible Trump support base out there. They don't want to overtly come out and say, I support Donald Trump. They instead hide it because so many people have gotten assaulted or ridiculed or yelled at for supporting Trump. They don't want to deal with that. I don't blame them. Listen, if I was going to secretly vote for Trump, I would never, ever tell you. I would lie through my teeth right into your face and never tell you. I just never tell you. Why would I? Why do I want that grief? It's a secret ballot. You're never going to be able to prove me wrong. So that's what a lot of Trump voters, I think that's what a lot of Trump voters did, even in 2016. So, yes, a few of them regret their votes now, and they've said so, but those are rare. There's a huge enthusiasm for Trump, and there's a huge gap between people who say they're going to vote for Trump and people who think he's done a good job with the economy. Tim Pool points out that's a gap of 2 to 6%, meaning there's 2 to 6% of the voters who basically know they're going to vote for Trump, but they don't consider themselves Trump supporters or won't tell anybody because they don't need the BS coming from the woke idiots on Twitter. So they're just going to quietly go in and vote Trump back in office and say, F you. And all the Michael Moores in the world posturing that, oh, this is all terrible and horrible, blah, blah, blah. It's no more terrible and horrible than any other president we've had. And in fact, Trump has accomplished a few things. He's done surprisingly well for, as Razor Fist said, uneducated ass hat. Is that what he said? He said something like an inexperienced ass hat. It's true. I mean, you look at Trump and you didn't expect him to do this well, and you certainly didn't expect him to make all these calls. I would not, as I've said, never bet against the Trump Meister. The guy has been on a roll for 3.5 years. Hello, little Joan. Who the heck would... Come here. You want to come up here? You want to say hi? Hurry up. I'm almost done the video. For 3.5 years, the guy's been making call after call after call after call. He's been right on China. back when he first was running, everybody's like, "Oh, China! China's our greatest trading partner. Why are you gonna throw shade at China? That's crazy. We've got all those problems in the Middle East. You're gonna talk about China? Are you crazy?" Oh my God! Do you hear him talk about North Korea? Oh, he's gonna get us all killed. It's gonna be World War III. Oh, the Russia Gate is a hoax. Oh my God, all the proof they must have. He's never going to get out of this. I mean, how many times are you going to be wrong before you just admit the guy knows something? I mean, you may not like him. You may not even want to vote for him or, say his name without cursing a blue streak. But you got to admit, the guy knows a few things. He's a master of optics. He's certainly better on the internet than Joe Biden will ever be. And he's seems to work day and night. I mean, the guy just never seems to stop moving. Now maybe that's his curated image, but even that, I mean, that's a lot of work to do too. Like, I always want to be seen walking and moving. I always want to be seen, with this kind of hair and makeup. I always want to, have something. I need this to say and that to say. I mean, all that stuff is management. Even just to maintain that illusion requires a great deal of management skill, and that's what presidents do. They're managing the country. Yeah, I didn't think Trump's economic package was going to be good, but it worked out pretty good for the most part. Now, do I think he can get out of this one? Well, I'd like to think he can, but I'm really worried about the economy. But that being said, I don't blame him for what's happened. Part of what's happened has been brewing for decades, and the other part was China's fault. So you can't really blame Trump. The guy tried to bring jobs back. He tried to rebuild the economy. He tried to cut back regulations. These are all positive things. So, when it comes down to the election, I think Trump's got it in the bag, and the Democrats are just trying to get Biden. Come here, Joan. All right, we'll go out in a second. I think Biden, they just got to get him across the finish line and not embarrass themselves too badly so they can come back in 2024 and hopefully still have a party left. But the early voting and the special elections are any indication, the Democrats are in real big trouble. And Biden may be, who knows, he might be the last major Democrat presidential candidate. Maybe it's time. Maybe the big movement in American politics is here when a new party will emerge to supplant the Democrats. I would like to see that. Even if it meant for a few cycles we had Republicans and then half Democrats and maybe half Greens or some party like that. It was like, you put all the woke people there. I don't think they would do a ton of damage. And it would be nice for them to have representation, and maybe we can get a little libertarians in there too, and we'd have 4 parties. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to have a choice at the ballot box for a change? But Biden, he's no real choice.